Just what we reported today. I was texting with him a little bit after he talked to our training staff this morning, and as we said, felt pretty good there for about 24 hours, and then experienced some systems. We wanted to make sure we obviously monitored it through a couple of days, and so he'll be entered into the protocol. I don't know exactly what the next steps will be.
Starting 5 for tonight.
Yeah, Marcus Morris at the 4 and Baines at the 5.
Did Al describe any of the symptoms? I mean, was it dizziness?
No, I didn't get any of the description of the symptoms other than headache, and that was something that they were, our medical staff was making sure they were on. Let us know how you feel ASAP, and if any of these things occur, please let us know, because we didn't have anything this morning, and so he talked to them this morning. To me, but I don't know if there were additional symptoms.
How concerning is it for him that you've talked to him, or for you, just considering his history with concussion?
Yeah, and I don't, one of the things is obviously the NBA's got a really good protocol for it. It's got a great, kind of path back to playing. They do the baseline test at the beginning of the year. They have the independent doctor in the league that, has to make sure and check off on it. And I think that it's a really good process. I don't know the medical part about having one and then having another one down the road. I know that if you have one and then you have another one before it's fully healed, that's obviously a real issue. But so we will obviously do whatever is in the best interest of Al. That's the most important thing, and so I don't want to act like I know the medical side of that thing.
You guys have had such a good, positive next man up mentality, obviously, with Gordon's injury. But now with Marcus coming in to take Al's place, what can you expect Marcus to do?
Well, I don't expect him to be Al. I don't expect anybody to be Al. I think we have to replace what he does by committee. We can't expect anybody to play like him or be like him on both ends of the floor. We just have to make sure that, if he's averaging 9 rebounds, we got to get 9 rebounds out of that spot. If he's scoring the ball for us at a clip, we either got to score it from that spot or around him a little bit more. So we've been good about focusing on the task at hand and guys being prepared and ready. But there's no question he's a big part of our team on both ends.
What kind of challenges does ball present?
Well, I think he's just got a terrific feel for the game. The way that he passes ahead is special. You can tell that people would probably want to play with him. The way that he moves the ball, and he clearly sees the game, at a really high level. So they've got a really good team, and he's obviously a big part of that and a big part of their future, and he's a good player.
Was Brooks' three-point shooting been even better this year?
Yeah, and that causes a problem, right? Because you want to put great size on him, but the way that he's stretching the floor is pretty ridiculous. I was actually, Al walked by my office yesterday and said, you guys have all really kicked this trend into full gear. But Brooks shoots it smooth, it looks good, he shoots it fast, and he's got great touch. So it just makes sense that he would be a three-point shooter, and he's become great at it. So he's a real challenge to guard. I think rightfully so. The young guys are really good with the Lakers, but not enough people probably talk about the acquisition of Lopez or signing Caldwell Pope, because those two guys are, proven guys that I think make it easy for the guys around them.
Do you have any experience with Kuzma?
I mean, he was picked in between our picks, so I had heard all about him. But if he would have fallen into the second round, maybe I would have heard more. But we knew going in that he was a really good player. He was high on our front office's list. I had seen him play a couple of times, but our front office had seen him play a lot. He's a good player.
What do you think of the way he's played so far?
Terrific. Scores the ball, drives it, shoots it. He has moxie, he's got fearlessness to him that I think is pretty special for that age. So he's a good player.
After being without Al, Brad, how good has Kyrie been early this season in getting the guys in bright spots on the floor?
Yeah, it's something that I think it's everybody's responsibility to get into the right spots, not just one person's. I think the way that we play, obviously the point guard that brings it up has some of that responsibility, but everybody knows where they need to be. And so it's not on one guy for them to get there. It's on them all to get there. And but he's done a great job of, trying to make everybody better around him. And, we need him to continue to do that. He's obviously a special player. And what he's been able to do at the end of the games is, all that everybody wants to talk about. But he does a lot throughout the game that makes everybody else better.
Coach, what's the minutes restriction on Marcus Morris?
It's not as restrictive as we move forward. I'll monitor appropriately. We'll see how his wind is. That's the most important thing with his minutes tonight.
Has Tatum surprised you with his three-point shooting?
No. That's why I was begging him to shoot it a long time ago.
Because he shot like 34% last year.
When we did our draft workout, he hit a ton of them, and he looked smooth doing it. It didn't look like it took any effort to get the ball there. So I think it was more about, we talked about it in the summer league and we talked about it early in this season. It was more about just getting kind of out of the habit of having to floor it before you shoot it, being ready, because he's going to be a really good shooter for a long time. He just has he has got great touch. He's got a high release. He prepares for the shot. Like he should be a good shooter.